Hello, everybody. I'm looking a bit wild and woolly today. I've been up in the mountains walking, coping with this energy, which we will have a look at. We're going to look at three reasons, or three, what was I going to do it? Three techniques to cope with the intensity of this very heavy Mars full moon. And this is ultimately a very auspicious full moon. It doesn't feel like it, and it doesn't look like it on the surface. And I know if you're into the astro community, you'll see a lot of people talking about how blah blah, this full moon will be difficult and all this stuff. And yes, that is true. However, what does the ancient sky say? It's a bit different, quite a bit different actually. The main themes, of course, are the same here. There is going to be tension. There is going to be a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of purging out of, getting the downloads, so to speak, but in the more difficult way, in the changing of your DNA kind of way. And it can be quite challenging for sure, but what is this full moon doing for us, and how can we integrate this energy the most? So the main player is Mars, actually, at the moment. It's a very deep energy that we're dealing with, actually. This is very, very high vibe. Very high vibe. Because of the gods and the stars that are being activated right now. Now, this is information that very few astrologers are privy to or interested in. But it's very, very important because it's so simple and it's so obvious, and they should be privy to it, but we don't care about our traditional astrology anymore. So I'm a little bit bitter about these things, so bear with me. Bear with me. I'm a big traditional guy. I like the further back the teaching, the better it is, in my opinion. So where is this full moon taking place? Okay, Aries, yes. Now it's actually taking place in one of the constellations in Aries, which is called Pallas Athena. It's actually the constellation of Athena herself. And Mars, on the day of the full moon, Mars, of course, making a tight square with Pluto, difficult aspect, there's tension, this Mars-Pluto, it's all about discomfort, feeling uncomfortable, getting into fights that you're just like, why did that even happen? Or you may not even be getting into fights. You may just be really heavily triggered by some things, and you're just like, I don't even know why. It's a chaotic energy. It's a very dynamic, changing, emotional, and to a certain degree, it's an energy of burning things down. We've been going through this for a little while, and this is the crux of it. This point, this position, this full moon actually is the crux of everything we've been going through since the start of Mercury retrograde, which was in September. Hold on. And then as Mercury, in 2 weeks' time, or actually not even 2 weeks, 1 week's time probably. Don't quote me on that. 1 or 2 weeks' time. Mercury will be moving quite slowly. So about 2 weeks' time, this whole energy will really be wrapping up, and we'll have still some lingering from the full moon until the next full moon in Taurus. But this energy is going to be intense for the next 2 weeks, basically, primarily, and then it will start to wrap itself up because of the way that Mercury is moving. And basically, what's happening is that we're being forced to, this is to burn down. We're being forced to really, really burn down our old materialistic ways of thinking in order to become more spiritual. That's really simplistic and really basic, but that's what the energy is. That just is what it's doing. It's the tension is towards this Pluto in Capricorn, which is of burning down. Pluto in Capricorn is all about burning down the old paradigm, burning down the old way of doing things, burning down structures that have been set. So this is difficult stuff that we're dealing with. This is the systems that are in place, and they've been in place for a long time, and so they're not moving. Capricorn rules tradition, and I said I'm a fan of tradition. I'm a Capricorn moon. I love tradition. But the problem is that with tradition, we get stuck on the outside often. You get stuck just doing a ritual rather than actually understanding what it means. And this is what this is doing for us. This energy is forcing us to burn down our rituals in order to understand the deeper layers behind them, to understand the real meaning behind our purpose and the things that we do with our lives. I mean, everything. It's the daily life is really being affected because Mars is a daily planet. Mars is a planet that has an influence every day, whereas Jupiter and Saturn, these are more planets that have, and then the Sun as well to a certain degree, these are more planets that have a wider influence on life, that bring in life-changing kind of moments and big shifts, or cycles, big cycles. If you go abroad, this will be a cycle of Jupiter, or if you're having more authority, this is like a cycle of Saturn. So these sort of bigger themes are Jupiter and Saturn and even the Sun. Whereas Mars and Venus especially, but we're focusing on Mars for this one because Mars is very active at the moment, really, really active, even though he's invisible. So he's invisible. If you go out in the night sky, you can't see Mars, I can't see Mars. He's not there. So he basically, what this means that it's all unconscious. It's all in our unconscious mind, and we're getting ready for the rebirth of our energy. Mars is our energy, our courage, our fight, our fire, our strength, inner strength. All of these things are Mars qualities, and where this burning down period is in order to rebirth our strength in a much more spiritual way, because Mars will appear. Mars is currently at this full moon in a very spiritual position and will also appear in a very spiritual position. So Mars's activity at the moment is elevating massively. It's going through these cycles of upward change, moving upwards. It's actually fantastic to watch that as a Mars person myself and as a man, because Mars is of men. The masculine collective is getting hit pretty hard at the moment, for sure. Pushed to grow and develop a lot, and that will continue through to the end of the year, and possibly even beyond that. Actually, I haven't fully checked it, but I imagine that it will. So, and this burning down period for all of us, and especially men and Mars people, is getting us ready for that appearance of Mars on the, it's between the 12th of December and the 21st of December, somewhere in that period, depending on where you are in the world. Mars will be appearing around that time. And that rebirth will be where we go, oh yes, finally, I get it. I can fight now, or I've got the energy to do what I wanted to do. I've got the inspiration, the spark, the fire. I've got the fuel that I need. I've got the. I love feeling the planets rather than talking about them. Mars is that energy of yes, I did it. I can do it. The grit, the independence, the single-mindedness. Mars is really powerful, and so Mars is with the star Speaker right now, which is a spiritual star, the star of the Virgin. This is also the star of philosophy. And this, of course, and this whole aspect. So the spirituality, the philosophy, even our values is what's causing us to, Pluto in Capricorn, burn down the old way of thinking, the old, what's not serving us anymore in the old paradigm. Old paradigm, man, these buzzwords. I'm not a fan of buzzwords, but I have to communicate somehow. But yeah, the old sort of the outdated habits that we have, we could say. We could call these like habits, but habits in the bigger sense, as in, my life is gonna go blah 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 blah. I'm gonna graduate and study this and work as that and have the husband or the wife or and the kids and the blah 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 in the car and all this stuff. These are the habits that we've been programmed with, and these are what's being burned down, because none of them are real. Nobody's life actually goes like that, and for the people whose lives do go like that, they're kind of fucking boring. Actually, they're really boring. Sorry to say, they're really boring. Shh, don't tell them I said that. They're really boring. I don't enjoy talking to them all the time. So actually, this is not the way to live. We have to be in the moment, here now. Mars is here now as well. And this full moon, of course, being in Aries, is of the energy of Mars. And Venus right now is with the star Antares. Antares is ruled by, guess who? Mars. So this whole full moon cycle is ingrained with the DNA of Mars and the transformation of Mars energy right now. Mars is our ambitions, in a sense, our goals, our Mars is also the will to fight, the will to make money, the will to create. Wow, 11/11, as I said, all those. The will to live according to your truth, the strength to live according to your truth, rather than just talking about it. And talking about it has also been a theme, with Mercury going retrograde at exactly the same spot that Mars is right now. So that's why I'm saying the Mercury retrograde was so important in this particular cycle. So, okay, sorry, I know I was supposed to get into the 3 things that you can do. So the number one thing with Mars, this is all Mars, physical activity, move your body, exercising. You need to find a way to get in touch with the Mars energy and not let it get out of control. So there'll be, when you do exercise, there'll be the impulse to go hell for leather, and you need to resist that impulse to a certain extent. Not all the time, of course, not completely, but when it feels good, go for it, absolutely. But that can also be a draining thing. That can actually drain your energy when you go too hard and too fast in exercise. So this will be exercise where you're controlling that and making it your own, making it serve you, rather than you going, oh yeah, I feel like I want to run faster now, or whatever, or lift a heavier weight, I don't know. And then you do it, and then you go, oh man, that was way above my weight class. Now I'm injured, or now I'm not feeling so good, or whatever. It can take your energy that. So you need to watch out for that a little bit. But physical exercise, gentle exercise, of course, that can also be a good thing to do. Keep a little bit out of competition, especially with men. Men will be feeling quite on edge at the moment, for sure. So if the guys around you are acting weird, this is why. So just, we're going through some stuff right now. We're going through a lot of stuff, us guys. So 100% be patient with them, basically. Be patient with them. So the physical exercise, best way, and also exercise in nature, being in nature, grounding, feeling the earth. Meditation. The reason I say meditation, I mean like meditation with an intention. Meditation where you go in to with the intention of discovering something about yourself, and even of changing some unconscious pattern that you've had, of reprogramming your mind. Meditation to reprogram your mind. This will help. This will be very, very good at this time. That's what the energy is for right now. It's for taking the old programs and for redistributing the energy, reapplying the energy in a new way. So that is that meditation, going in. What's my story? What are the experiences I've had that make me feel this way? What's the story I'm telling myself, and what's the new story? And then bringing the nervous system in, feeling that new story behind the life that you want to live, behind the affirmation that you want to make about yourself. This is the mental game behind everything. So it's that energy that is very powerful right now. That will be very constructive and healing. It will bring things up. You will find yourself kind of bursting into tears randomly and be like, okay, that's Pluto. And Mars, of course, things happening all of a sudden. But what is the purpose of all of this? This is Pallas Athena. So the spirituality burning down the old paradigm to bring us into our independence. Athena is the victor, the goddess of victory. So she is bringing us into our power. I hate these buzzwords, man. But she she is bringing us into independence, genuine independence. We're having to we may have to be breaking some bonds, depending on your sign, of course. But we may have to be breaking some bonds. I actually have a video for this full moon. It's on Olympus Astrology. If you want to check that out, I could also upload that here, actually, which may be interesting. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll do that. I'll upload that video here as well, which will be the forecast for this full moon for the next 4 weeks after this full moon. But yeah, so we may have to be isolating a bit in order to find that inner strength. Athena is the inner strength, the spiritual strength, the inner victory, the conquering of ourself. That's what Athena symbolizes, conquering ourselves rather than conquering somebody else. So that's what I mean, that this is really, really positive. And also Mars is making a trine with Jupiter. So even more spirituality. The trine is that energy of that fight. It's to burn down the old, to bring in the spiritual. Bring in, Jupiter is spirituality, meditation. That's also one of the reasons why meditation is the best way to handle this energy right now, because of that aspect. It can also be talking with people older than you. Talking with people who have more authority on a subject than you will be very healing at this time. It will be very... yes, you'll be able to communicate clearly, and you'll be able to get the answers that you want from these people right now. So this is also another great tip. And there's number 3, actually. that is part of number 3. So it's this, that we have to come into our own independence. That's tip number 3. Use this energy to bring yourself into your own independence through those techniques, the exercise and meditation. I mean, if you're keen into a martial art, that will actually be pretty transformative now as well. There's no doubt about that, but that kind of falls under physical exercise. Yeah, so don't be afraid. That's what this energy is saying, is don't be afraid to step into your authority, not authority, but your independence. The fact that only you can live your life. Nobody else can tell you how to live your life, actually, at the end of it. Also that asking help from people who should know. Saturn is people who've done the hard yards, who know. Mercury is making a trine with him, and Mercury is our communication, talking, pleasant communication in Libra. So yeah, this is a time for inspiration, to get inspiration from people who know more about a subject than you do. I've certainly been doing this, and I pray that all of you will as well. I hope the lighting's been pretty okay. I mean, it's getting a bit late. It's just been raining. I got rained on earlier, which was fun. And I hope you guys have been holding up well. It has certainly been very intense recently. Yeah, may Zeus, Apollo, and Athena go with you. Amun Ra.